What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're continuing the positional previews for the New York Giants. Today we're looking at the cornerback position for the New York Giants, and it doesn't have as much depth as last year because we had Leon Hall as well. Hopefully we can get him back. He still didn't find a team yet. Hopefully we can get him back because it's great to have a guy that is like a defensive back. He could play corner, outside corner, nickel corner, safety. He played a lot of safety last year. Had an interception, I believe, on Dak Prescott last year, playing safety. So hopefully he comes back. Hopefully we can re-sign him back because I really don't like Valentino Blake. He's more of a special teams kind of guy. So I guess we just brought him on to compete, but we'll see. So going after our cornerback core. And let me check something off real quick. So we're going Janoris Jenkins as our starter, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Eli Apple, Valentino Blake. I don't know if Deshaun Amos is listed as a safety, but he's listed as a defensive back. But I haven't seen much on him. So Michael Hunter, Donte Deayon. Hopefully he does something, please. Ryan Murphy and Saqwuan Edwards. And also I want to bring up Ifo Ekpre-Oloumu, if you guys know who that is. He was a first-round prospect. He didn't get drafted in the first round. Actually, I don't think he was drafted at all in the 2015 draft because he got injured and nobody picked him up except Cleveland. I think Cleveland either took him in the late rounds or took him undrafted. I think he was undrafted, but he was a first-round talent, guys. This guy, I had him as my third best corner, right behind Marcus Peters back in the 2015 draft. So this guy is no joke coming out of Oregon. Hopefully he can either make the roster. He's just trying out right now. He's not even on the roster yet. He's not even on the 90-man roster. He's trying out. So hopefully he can go from trying out to making the roster to making the active roster. I think he could do it. He just has to stay healthy. That is his problem, is staying healthy. So let's go over Janoris Jenkins coming in. Had a phenomenal season last year. I believe had 3 or 4 interceptions. One of them being on Dak Prescott. Locked Des Bryant up. He's the Jack Rabbit. And very, very happy with picking him up last year. I didn't think he was going to have the season he did. But huge upgrade from Prince Amukamara. On top of that, Janoris Jenkins can stay on the field unlike Prince Amukamara. So, moving on, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. I think he had an underrated season last year. A lot of people, aren't going to say he had the best year, but he did very well because he struggled in the nickel spot. The Giants put him in a nickel spot. Steve Spagnuolo put him in a nickel spot. And then they were rotating, towards the end of the year, they were rotating with Eli Apple at the outside position and the nickel spot, just to try to get some experimentation going on because Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie wasn't doing that well in the nickel. But he had he led the team with 6 interceptions last year. What more can you ask for? He did great last year, and hopefully he can come back and do great again. Very underrated season he had. Eli Apple. I think everyone and their mother was upset when Roger Goodell called Eli Apple with a number 10 spot in the draft, but he wound up doing phenomenally well. Wound up starting a couple games. And I'm very happy with the Eli Apple pick. I definitely ate my words. I ranted when Eli Apple was chosen. But, Eli Apple shut my mouth pretty quickly. So hopefully he can come back and have a better year. I would like to see him get more interceptions. He had an interception on Ben Roethlisberger, but not that it mattered because that game really didn't matter at that point. That game was over by halftime. So, moving on, Valentino Blake. I don't want him making the roster. He's a special teams player at most. He didn't do good. He hasn't done well with any team he's really been on. He's really been that special teams kind of guy. So I hope Leon Hall can come back. Ifo Ekpre-Oloumu can make the roster and beat him out. But it seems like that he may make this roster unless some undrafted player really steps up. Moving on to Michael Hunter, he was on the practice squad last year. Actually played not too bad last year. He was actually in competition with Trevin Wade to have the final cornerback spot on the roster, and Trevin Wade wound up taking that spot. So That may say something about Michael Hunter, but when he did play last year in the preseason, I didn't think he did too bad. I didn't think he did too bad at all. So maybe he can make this roster, being that we don't have too much on this cornerback core right now. Moving on, Donte Deayon, coming out of my favorite college football team, Boise State. He is a pick specialist. This guy had, I believe, 17 career interceptions in college. Had a couple interceptions during training camp last year. I believe one of them on Eli Manning, too. So Donte Deayon has a knack for the football, and he could definitely make it in this league. 5'9" is not an excuse. You guys see players like Tyrann Mathieu. You guys see a player that was drafted in the second round. This draft was Budda Baker. He's 5'9", 5'10", and he can make it in this league too. It's just that Donte Deayon is 158 pounds. I mean, he weighs nothing, especially to be a cornerback to try to tackle people. I think he would fit more as a wide receiver or just a kick returner at that point. But I think he can make it in this league. He has to gain more weight, definitely, but his skill set and his talent is definitely there. He was their number one corner back in Boise State, so he can make it. He was on the practice squad last year, but we'll see what happens this year. Moving on, Ryan Murphy. I've seen a little bit of him. Pretty explosive corner. We'll see what he does in the preseason. And Saqwuan Edwards as well. Pretty explosive corner. We'll see what he does in the preseason. And like I said, Ifo Ekpre-Oloumu. I'm hoping he makes this roster. That would be some great. Imagine having Janoris Jenkins, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Eli Apple, and Ifo on the team. 4 first-round talents on that cornerback core. It would be insane. So that is the cornerback core. And here is my unofficial depth chart for the cornerback core. Janoris Jenkins, or should we call them NYPD? That's what they call themselves. Kind of corny, but I'll just call them that. The New York Pass Defenders. Janoris Jenkins, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Eli Apple. Take this with a grain of salt. I'm gonna have to add Valentino Blake on there because there's nobody else I see that's gonna make this roster. I would love Donte Deayon to make the roster, but as of right now, I just don't think he's gonna do that. Ifo, let's see if he even makes the 90-man roster first. But we'll see what happens with that. So I'm going to have to add Valentino Blake in there and Michael Hunter to get that 5th spot. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And I'll do safeties next. I'll finish off with free and strong safeties. See you guys in the next video.